What if the real measure of your life wasn't about your bank account or your career success, but about the number of people you could trust? I mean, really trust with your life. Today, we're going to dive into a pretty demanding idea from the author Zhu, and it all kicks off with one simple-sounding question.
So just take a second and really think about it. How many people in your life right now are genuinely trustworthy and truly close to you? Go on, get a number in your head. Got it? Okay, hold on to that number because we're about to put it to the test against a much, much higher standard.
See, to even begin to answer that question, we first have to get on the same page about what these words even mean. And let me tell you, Sui-Feng's standard is incredibly high. We are not talking about your buddies from work or your casual friends here. This is something way, way deeper. Okay, just look at how absolute these definitions are. For trustworthy, we're talking about a level of faith where you'd hand someone $1 million in cash and not even ask for a receipt. No questions asked. And for close, it's wanting to share everything, feeling so comfortable you could literally be with them every single day and it would just feel right. This isn't just friendship, you know? This is a bond so profound most of us have probably never experienced it. So let's go back to that number you were thinking of. Using this gold standard, how many people do you have now? Yeah, the author makes a pretty stark claim here. Other than maybe your parents, finding even one person like this is nearly impossible. Unless you're on a very specific path. So what is this path? Where is it going? Well, according to this philosophy, it leads to a very specific and honestly kind of staggering number of people. But before we get to the number, it's so important to understand the stakes here. Think about it. We chase money, we chase success, we chase status. But from this point of view, connections with this kind of depth, that is the only real measure of a rich life. They are, quite literally, life's greatest wealth. And here it is. The number is 64. The author says that to reach what they call heaven, which is like an ultimate state of being, you don't just need one or two of these connections, you need a whole community of 64. And this quote just perfectly lays out the challenge, right? Shu-Feng's whole idea directly links having these relationships to being on this path to heaven. So if you're not on that specific journey of self-improvement and cultivation, he argues finding even a single person who meets this standard is a monumental task, which, makes finding 64 seem completely out of reach. So right about now, you might be thinking, okay, where on earth could I possibly find these people? But this is the genius of it. This is where the whole problem gets flipped completely on its head. The search doesn't start by looking for other people. It starts by looking in the mirror. Let's turn the tables for a second. Forget about finding someone else. And just ask yourself, are you the kind of person someone could hand $1 million to? No receipt, no questions. Does your character inspire that kind of absolute, unwavering faith? Seriously, think about your actions, the promises you keep, your integrity when no one is watching. Why should anyone trust you? What have you proven consistently that would make you a safe harbor for someone else's total trust? And it's not just about trust. Why should anyone feel so safe and comfortable with you that they'd want to share everything day in and day out? See, the author's point is this. The problem isn't that there's a lack of worthy people out there. The real journey to finding them begins with becoming one yourself. And this brings us right to the heart of the author's solution. It's this metaphorical process for becoming the kind of person who can attract and, just as importantly, sustain these deep connections. It's all about refining the human soul. This whole idea is built on a really powerful analogy. Think about it. Raw ore from the ground is full of impurities, dirt, rock, junk. To get to the pure, valuable gold inside, it has to go through an intense process of fire and refinement. The argument here is that so do we. We're full of impurities like ego, fear, selfishness. So the author breaks this refinement process into two big steps. First, there's soul purification. This is the tough, internal work of cleansing ourselves of all that junk, the selfishness, the greed, the dishonesty. It's about facing your own flaws head-on. And then second, there's heavenly program cultivation, which is basically actively living by higher principles, like compassion and honesty and selflessness. This is the smelting process, but for a human being. And this, right here, this is the fundamental law of this whole thing. You attract who you are. It's like a magnet. If your own quality and frequency, your character, your values, your energy are unrefined and chaotic,
You just won't be able to find, or even recognize, people who are pure gold. The search for your 64 people is actually a search for your own highest self.
So, what's the payoff for all this incredible work, both inside and out? The author calls it immortal life. Now, this isn't about living forever. It's about reaching a state of being that's so connected, so harmonious, that heaven stops being some place you hope to go to when you die. It becomes your actual, lived-in reality, defined by the community you've built and the person you've become.
So we end right back where we started, but now with a totally new perspective. The real question isn't just who is on your journey with you. It's what is the destination of your journey itself? Are you on a path that refines you? A path that could someday make you worthy of finding your 64? That's a huge question. And maybe it's the only one that really matters.